Hello, good morning. So I'll be talking about how giving customers and guests empowerment can actually boost profitability of hotels quite significantly. What you guys are looking at is a digital twin of a hotel from Palladium Hotels in Ibiza called Ushuaia Tower. And literally, that's not a picture, it's actually a hyper-realistic digital twin that we've created for that property that helps guests to actually have power in what they're actually purchasing. So talking about what's going on, so the landscape in travel has changed dramatically in the last few years. The way that we desire things, the way we work, the way we interact and travel and see the world has changed dramatically post-pandemic. Now, we had revenge travel last year, and I think we have another year of revenge travel, which is good for travel. And ADR is growing in most places around the world. And we, even though there is revenge travel and you're traveling with a bit more luxury and trying to enjoy a bit more, people are also doing less trips, but they're also wanting to have more control and want to have more experiences rather than just having that destination. Now, obviously, luxury travel has boomed quite a bit, and really, for customers, there's no mistakes allowed. Now, what we know is, obviously, people are still starting to travel and work from different places, and guests really want empowerment, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So, sustainability is a massive thing that's basically everywhere, and it's really hard for hotels to actually demonstrate that to customers. And with a digital twin, you can actually do that as well. Now, to demonstrate those efforts, we use, virtual reality. We had Kimberly kindly pose for us for a little picture to show you how we put like a Formula One car right in front of the room yesterday. So there's very many different ways that you can actually engage with guests, really using technology. We were talking about ChatGPT just in the previous session, and we know this is the topic of the year. Last year we had the metaverse. We thought it was going to be amazing, fantastic. Everybody was going to have to be in the metaverse. But the reality of it, the metaverse bubble burst. And how it is so crazy that flying cars are going to be a reality before the metaverse is, because that's just happening. Now, Dubai is actually one of the only cities in the world that actually has a metaverse ready, and it's going, and it's kind of starting to walk and crawl. Very few companies have managed to actually make money out of the metaverse. Gucci, for example, has a metaverse store that is very profitable and it's doing very well. But these are like, like unicorns, not very many cases around the world. Now, how do we bridge that gap? How do we take what we've learned and heard about the metaverse and not waste all the time that we talked about it and use that to make hotels more profitable? So the way I see it, we have got this bridge of this amazing metaverse world that has all those possibilities that in reality, it cannot happen today because the infrastructure is not there. We're talking about a node bridge that doesn't have the bolts and the nuts to actually cope with it. So what we're doing with Hotelverse addresses that directly. It really goes into the core of how we can help direct bookings be boosted on the hotel website. So Booking and Expedia have had the best quarter in the history of their companies in Q1 in 2023. And that basically makes things only worse for hotels because getting traffic to your website is even harder, is even more expensive. So, and guests are still ill-informed by all the hotels because they still don't know exactly what they're buying when they get there. They're trying to understand what the room looks like. There's always a date blind, a blind date, right? You want to come to a hotel. I bet none of you guys had any idea what your room looked like before you arrived in Barcelona, right? So you came all the way from the US or from Stockholm or anywhere you came from and you got there, a blind date. And it's funny because it's the most expensive ticket that we do buy. Usually is basically a hotel. And guess what? You have no clue you're buying. So the reason for that, you've got 20 years of booking systems going on, not specific, not emotional, not authentic. What you buy is usually not what you get. Now, we're talking about something that also has a massive value, because if you have a partial room or a partial view of the Eiffel Tower, it's not the same thing as that, right? But when you get there, you're quite frustrated and you think that that's what you're buying when you said a partial view. Now, all industries have really evolved. You're thinking about retail, you can try shoes, clothes on, you can select a seat at the stadium, a seat at a concert. I'm sure most of you selected your seats coming on the airplane, not to have a middle seat, right? So that's basically the thought behind of what we're doing at Hotelverse. And the alternative for the traveler is a quite frustrating experience, no power to choose, and the consequences for the hotels are dire. Why is that? Because the hotel is just another step on the journey, and you're the last one to appear on the booking journey. And guess what? You have to overinvest on your direct channel to be able to convert. You have to give discounts, points, benefits, upgrades, and so on. And that leads into a massive leakage on profitability. There's a 40% leakage on profitability in hotels because what's happening is out of 4 guests that come to your website, literally only 1 goes books with you and 3 go back to the OTA. So what we're trying to do is how do we at Hotelverse use content to empower hotels to help you to convert 30 to 60% more in your brand.com. Now, what we're doing is very much a new value proposition is giving hotels the ability to have what we call a digital twin that looks like that. So basically, what happens is we build a model with all the surroundings of the property so you understand exactly where you're actually getting. So all the work that you do before you go to a holiday, that you have to look at Google Maps and see the streets that are around the hotel, and then read reviews about it and try and understand what the hotel actually looks like, what's next door to it, what the views of the rooms are like. This is all built and put into the hotel website, and then you're actually able to navigate and use all that rich content that the hotels invest millions every year, but it gets buried on the website and nobody can find it because, you know, customers want to find things in one click. If I'm interested about the jacuzzi or the pool, I want to go in there and I want to see exactly what I'm actually getting. And that's what we're doing. So if you think about the attributes and how we can actually help you to help your customers to have the empowerment of choosing exactly what they're trying to get. Like, you know, I want a room by the pool, I want a room with a view to the sunset or a clear sea view. You can do all of that. And what's really interesting is you can actually price rooms that are theoretically in the same room category differently because one room might be better than the other because of a view, because of the way that the room is actually displayed. Now, we do all of that without having to go to the property. And the impact that we have for hotels, we've got a 350% increase in conversion versus a traditional booking engine when the customer is already in your booking funnel. There's a 30% increase in selling higher room categories because the customer now understands the difference between a basic room and a suite or any other type of room that you have available. And there's also a massive opportunity on ancillary revenue as well because hotels have not been great at collecting ancillary revenues, whereas airlines have been doing a great job for many years selling hotels for peanuts and a bunch of other things and keeping the profitability. And from the customer perspective, there's a 92% preference for customers to actually use a platform that actually shows them what they're buying. Now, we've got some really interesting brands working with us, from Radisson to Palladium. We are a Spanish brand from Mallorca, and we literally started taking the market by storm. I think we've got only one major brand in Spain that's not working with us. Everybody else is. And we've got a very fast track in terms of growth. We've only 14 months old. We are a spin-off from Iberostar. And what's really interesting is we are getting so much traction globally because what we're doing is common sense. In the end of the day, every one of you is sick of getting to a hotel and having to ask to change when you're going on holiday because you went to beautiful Mallorca and your room looks the car park, right? So basically, it's a problem that's very close to each one of us. So we have got over 12 awards in the first year of existence of the company. We have published over 700 publications in the first year. So literally every single day of the week, we're talking to different journalists talking about what we're doing. And we really focus on how do we help you. We believe that if you're not going to work with us in 3-4 years from now, doesn't matter if it's us, you'll be working with someone doing what we're doing, which is creating digital content that empowers and enables guests to decide exactly what they want and how they want it. Because at this day and age, where we're moving towards more, TikTok selling hotels, if you don't have immersive content, you have no chance to compete against the OTAs or other hotels. So if you guys want to know more about it, happy to talk to you. But thank you very much, and hopefully it's been interesting.